Hello guys, welcome to my next video. Now today in this video I'm going to tell about the Java in BlueJ environment. Now BlueJ is basically an IDE, which is integrated development environment. It is actually an environment where we write and execute Java programs. Alright, so let's get started. So here we can see the topic is introducing Java on BlueJ environment. Now, one thing I want to show that next from this starting from this, whatever we do in Java, whatever we learn in basic Java, we are going to run it on BlueJ environment. Alright, so make sure you have BlueJ in your laptop or computer or PC. Okay, now let's get started. Now the first thing is Java is called Vora. What is Vora? Write once, run anywhere. The last time I told you that it is a platform independent programming language. Platform independent means we write it once. Here is also the definition. Write once, run anywhere, which means you write the program once and then you can take it in an external storage device and run it on any machine you want. Now today I'm going to show you how this happens. Alright, let's proceed. So we are going to start by learning some basic definitions. The first definition is source code. What is source code? Source code is the Java program that is written by the user in a high level language is termed as source code or Java source code, which means the program that you write in the computer, in the PC, that is known as source code. Code is also known as the program, the source program. It is the source, which means the user is providing this source. But you all know that computer doesn't understand English or any other language, so it only understands the binary digits, the 0 and 1. So the source code is also known as high level language, which is our language, the user's language. The computer doesn't understand that language. The computer understands only binary language. So we'll come to that later. Next part is the compiler. The compiler, what is a compiler? Compiler is a program that converts the source code to machine understandable form. Machine understandable form means it's actually the binary form and display all errors at a time. Now on the binary form or machine understandable form, the user doesn't need to know what is the machine binary form of the code he or she has written. So we so the it must not be shown to the user. The user cannot see the code, I mean the binary form of his or her code. The compiler does the job and everything happens in the computer memory, the RAM actually. The RAM is there and the arithmetic logic unit is there for arithmetic calculations and all different parts of the CPU does the job. The compiler is actually the program that converts the higher level language of the user to a machine understandable form, which consists of binary digits. Example of compiler is Turbo C, GCC. Turbo C is for C programming language, GCC also for C programming language, etc. And next come to interpreter. What is interpreter? It is a program that convert. One thing I forgot to mention. Compiler, another example is there, that is Java C. Alright, I forgot to mention about the Java thing. So there is Java C. Another thing is there. It converts the source code to machine understandable form and display all errors at a time. Alright, there it is vital. It displays all the errors at a time. All right. I mean, suppose there are 5 errors in the program, it will display the five errors one after another, okay, at a time. And what is interpreter? Interpreter is a program that interprets or translates the source code to machine understandable form line wise and displays the errors one after another. This is a basic difference between a compiler and an interpreter. A compiler displays the error at a time, but an interpreter displays the error one after another, and it translates or interprets the code to machine understandable form line wise. Alright, this is the basic difference. Example is JVM. Now I think I have written something wrong here. Sorry, this is not source code, it's called byte code. Alright, what is byte code? Next definition is bytecode. What is bytecode? The Java source code is compiled by the Java compiler. After that, an intermediate code is obtained that is known as Java bytecode, which is platform independent. Now, what is Java bytecode? Remember I told you about Vora, write once, run anywhere? The secret behind that is the bytecode. What is bytecode? We write the program, that is the source code, in a high level language. Then the compiler, what the compiler do? The compiler compiles the program and converts the source code to a machine understandable form known as a bytecode. Alright, you understand? This source code is compiled by the Java compiler. After the intermediate code is obtained, that intermediate code, that in bytecode is not something that any, I mean, not not a binary uh, conversion actually. uh, it is not the final step of converting, it is the intermediate step. It's not actually the binary conversion. The binary conversion comes later. First, the compiler converts the source code to bytecode. Then the interpreter, what the interpreter does is convert this bytecode to machine understandable form, which means convert the bytecode to binary form so that the computer can understand. Okay, and this bytecode is actually platform independent. This is the reason why Java is called platform independent, or write once, run anywhere. This feature allows Java to run on any machine. Alright, now next comes is JVM. What is JVM? It is the abbreviation of the term Java Virtual Machine that converts the bytecode to machine understandable form. It is a Java interpreter. Now we learned about interpreter example as JVM. What does JVM do? JVM is actually a program that converts the, it is a in actually it's an interpreter. It interprets the Java bytecode to machine understandable form. Now it's when I'm telling platform independent, it doesn't mean that it you can run however you wish. No, you have to have JVM in that particular machine. JVM is actually free. Java is basically a free software. Java, then JDK, JRE, everything is a free software. So you can download it with Java. If that machine supports Java, then it will run on that machine, but provided you have to install a JVM in that machine. Alright, so what is JVM? It's an interpreter which interprets or translates the Java bytecode to machine understandable form. Alright, now IDE, I think you know, the is the abbreviation of the term integrated development environment. It provides an editor, viewer and debugger. Example is BlueJ. I'll come to this. BlueJ is actually an IDE. It's an environment where we write program. Alright. Now next come to the next topic. Next we come to the difference between compiler and interpreter. Now what is the difference between compiler and the interpreter? Now compiler, the first difference is the definition. Definition is here. You can see compiler is a program that converts the source code to machine understandable form and display all the errors at a time. And interpreter is, it's a program that interprets or translates the bytecode to machine understandable form line wise and display the errors one after another. The definition you have to write. The first point is the definition. Second point is, for compiler it is it displays all errors at a time, so debugging is difficult. Interpreter is display the errors line wise, so debugging is easier than compiler. What is debugging? Debugging is the process of detection of errors and correcting them. Alright, yeah, I think you understand. If you do some errors and all, it identifies that error, it detects that error and suggests a correction to that error. Alright, example is Java C Turbo C for compiler, and for interpreter example is JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Next difference is Java compiler and Java interpreter. It's one line difference, actually 1 point. In Java compiler compiles the Java source code to an intermediate code known as Java Byte Code. And the Java interpreter is, it interprets the Java byte code to machine understandable form. Now here we discussed that compiler converts the source code to machine understandable form, but here we are discussing Java source code to intermediate code. Now you might ask me that the compiler is the same, but why come the definitions are different? No, the definitions are not different. See here, compiler refers to other programming languages also, but here particularly it's for Java. Alright, particularly for Java. That is why the definitions are different. One thing you have to remember, that there are two types of Java programs. First one is Java standalone application, which we are going to do, and second one is internet applets, which we are not going to do because that doesn't belong under basic Java, that is advanced Java. Alright, now let's come to the structure of a class. Alright, now what does a class look like? Last day I discussed what is class, what is object. Object we are going to come later. First come to class. Now what is the structure? First there is, you can see, access specifier, then a class, then class name. Now access specifier, what is access specifier? I told you that Java is a highly secure programming language. So access specifier is actually a term where it determines who should have access to this program. Alright, it is basically a security measure. Now access specifier, there are different types of access specifiers like public, private, protected. Alright, there are actually three kinds of private access specifier, and if you don't give any access specifier, since it is optional, here is written optional, when you don't give any access specifier, it by default it becomes the Java gives an access specifier known as friendly. You cannot give friendly as it is not a keyword. I mean, you cannot give the word friendly, but friendly is actually same as public, which is anyone can access this program. Basically public is used, I mean will be using public, not protected, not private, but we'll discuss them later, not now, later. Now First it is an access specifier. Suppose public. Public class is a keyword which you have to give, and class name user defined term. I mean, it's completely up to you what class name you have to give. Then we start the second bracket. It is the start of class. Okay. Then is the body of the class, and again second bracket is the end of class. This is actually the structure of a class. Okay, now under that class comes other things. Now we'll discuss about what comes under class. After class comes methods, basically the main method. What is main method? Main method is actually the part where you write the program. Okay, now what is the structure of the main method? The first one is access specifier. As usual, you have to give this. uh, it's not optional actually. You have to give, no, I think it's optional. Yeah, it's optional. Access specifier, then modifier. It is also optional. I'll tell you what these are. Then is the return type. Return type is uh, what value the program might return to the user when it is executed. I'll come to that later. Then is the main. Main is a keyword, you have to write that. Main, and inside bracket you have to give any argument. I'll tell you what is an argument and whatever it is. If you don't give argument, then also okay, fine, no problem. Then is the start of the main method, again second brackets. Then is the body of main method, and then the end of main method. Okay, now come to what are access specifier, modifier, return type, and all. Alright, let's come to that. First is the access specifier, which is here it is public. So what is access specifier? It implies that the main method is accessed from any other methods of the same class, and it can also be accessed from other classes too, which means the main method, it can be accessed from other classes, and it also can be accessed from this class also. Which accessed means you can execute the main method however you like, and also from other classes you can call this main method from other classes into that class and execute them. Since it is public, it is open for all. Next is modifier. Now here is the modifier. What is a modifier? It implies that the main method is a class method, and static main implies the main method is called or invoked before the object creation of the class. Modifier is actually a static. It's the keyword is static. The modifier is basically related to object creation. For example, if we declare an object and call another function, we don't need to give the static function, otherwise we have to give the static function. The keyword, static keyword. Okay, I'll tell you in the later part of this course. Next is the return type. What is return type? Return type, it implies that the function does not return anything. Now, a return type means there are certain types, the data types, which is required for declaring variables or arrays or strings and all. What are those data types? They are, first is int, then okay, so there is int, then float. Int is for integer type of numbers, to declare integer type of numbers. Float is for floating point, which is known as the decimal points. Double is also for decimal points with high range. And then there is boolean, is for true or false. Then there is the string for strings, I mean the words or sentences, except words or sentences. There are different data types, also known as return types. For functions it is return types, and for declaring variables it is data types. Now there is one thing which is only a return type and not a data type, which is void. Void means, the literal meaning of void means empty. This actually applies here. Void is empty, which is the function does not return anything. The user will not expect anything in return from this function. Alright, next is the argument. Here is the argument, the main. Under this argument, main is actually a function name. Alright, the argument is, it is an optional. If any argument is there, it implies that we try to input some data during program execution, which is in the program, if we need to input some values from outside by the user, we can use this argument thing. Here we have to write, suppose int a and int b, two integer numbers we want to input, so we have to write int a, int b. Okay, fine. It actually takes input from the user, and if we don't give anything, it will not take any input. Then is the main. It is a function or method. Under this function, the programming code is written by the user to be executed. Fine. Now next topic. Next are the comments. The comments in Java program. There are actually three types of comments in Java program. The first one is called single line comment. Then the second one is called multi-line comment, and the third one is called document comment. What is a comment? A comment is something which a text or something like that which we don't want to execute, which means in the program we give a comment for suppose you write a program and another person views the program just only views the program. So you write the command at your logic, but the next person, suppose they could not understand the logic, for him you have to explain what is what line represents what. So for that you have to give a comment by giving this double slash and writing anything you want here. Suppose this becomes a comment actually. So we basically doesn't want to execute the things we write under the comment. This is single line comment, which is you have to use only a single line to demonstrate this. This multi-line comment, you can use multiple lines for this comment. And this is document comment, almost same as multi-line comment. There are certain things which you need to know. First one is to print something in the output window, we use the system.out.println or system.out.print statement in Java. This is actually a function, an inbuilt function to print anything we want in the Java window. So what is the difference between system.out.println or system.out.print? Now the println prints the code and moves the cursor to the next line. The cursor which prints the thing, it moves the cursor to the next line, while the print, which is the system.out.print, it prints the code means the output. Actually it prints the output and moves the cursor and let the cursor remain on the same line. Alright, it doesn't move the cursor to the next line. Print ln moves the cursor. Suppose this statement is written and the cursor comes to the next line. So if we use another print statement, it will start from this line. But prints system.out.print, what does it does? It prints the statement and gives the cursor to this line only. So if we write another print statement after that, it will start from here. Okay, fine. Alright, today's final topic is I'm going to demonstrate a simple program in Java. Now any programming language, you'll see the first program they write is the hello world program. Hello world is nothing but a word. The word known as hello world is printed. That's all. How to do that? Public class hello world, access specifier, and class keyword, then the class name, anything you want here, and braces open, public static void main, first bracket, access specifier, modifier, return type, main, and argument. Access specifier, modifier, return type, main. Then you give braces and start the program. Then system.out.println we discussed here to print anything on the output window. Println and first bracket, and within double quotes, always remember this, within double quotes you have to write and whatever we want to print. Here we have to print hello world, so print hello world within double quotes, and this one is mandatory. A semicolon must be given after almost every line in the program body. Okay, a semicolon is basically means this line is finished. It will now the program will come to the next line, the next command. These are actually, a program is basically a series of commands. This is actually commands. You give a command to the computer to write this in the output window. Alright, semicolon means the command ends and the next command is ready to be written. Now we don't give any next command, and we end this is the main function brace, this one, and this one is the class brace. Okay, there are two braces. Fine, two braces is mandatory. Other braces you want to give, it's okay, you can give, but two braces are mandatory. Output is hello world, that's all. Okay, so let's have a quick review of what we learned. Today we learned Java is called Vora, which is write once, run anywhere. It is platform independent. Why it is platform independent? Because of the byte code. We learned about the compiler, the interpreter, what is source code, byte code, and what is JVM, what does it do. It's a Java interpreter actually. What is IDE and which IDE we are going to use, that is also given, BlueJ. We learned the difference between compiler interpreter, Java compiler, Java interpreter. We learned what are the two types of Java programs. Then we learned about the structure of a class, and we learned about the structure of main function. We learned what is access specifier, what is modifier, what is return type, what is argument, and we learned about the commands used in Java program. We learned about the println and print statements in Java, which is system.out.println and system.out.print statement in Java program. And the final, we wrote a simple program in Java to demonstrate how Java works. Alright, how the output shows, how Java works, everything. Now next day I'm going to proceed with different types of operators and expressions, then tokens, identifiers, literals, and then different types of arithmetic operators, logical operators, bitwise operators. There are many things which you need to learn. These are actually the arithmetic parts of a Java program. So I hope you like this video. If you have any doubt, you can give on the comment section of this video, and accordingly I'll upload the next video in the given time, so that you can take notes and can learn Java. It's a very good language. So next day we are going to meet. All right, goodbye.